Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Elise, and this is 10 to Life, where we talk all things true crime. If you're stopping by for the first time, welcome. I hope you enjoy today's case coverage and case update, and consider subscribing to the channel. And if you are a returning 10 to Lifer, you already know the deal here, so welcome back. I'm coming to you fresh out of the shower, in my pajamas, with my glasses on, because we had a major break in one of the cases that we've been talking about today, and I didn't want to waste any time, and I wanted to jump right on here and deliver this new information to you. Today we have an update in the Vicky White and Casey White case. After 10 days on the run, the search for Vicky White and Casey White came to a close on Monday. Sadly, Vicky White did not make it out of this alive. But we're going to jump back a little bit to the past few days and go over everything that has happened chronologically. And if you want to get caught up to speed on what this case entails and everything that started from the very beginning when these two escaped out of prison, head back over to my previous video where I break it all down for you. I included interviews in that video and all of the details. But we have so many updates, so let's not wait and let's dive right in.
10 to Life with Elise starts right now.
Last Thursday evening, Vicky White's copper Ford Edge was found in a tow yard in Tennessee, just 2 hours from the jail. The car was abandoned on April 29th, just a few hours after Vicky and Casey first went missing. When found in the tow yard, it was discovered that the car actually had green spray paint on it, almost as if they were trying to disguise the car, but were idiots and apparently didn't buy enough spray paint. And you would think that with her $90,000 in cash from the sale of her house, that she would have had more than enough supplies on hand, right? It is possible that rather than trying to spray paint the whole car, maybe they were trying to spray a portion of it to make it look like it was a repair, something to disguise the vehicle, but in any event, did not seem very well thought out, especially for people who had allegedly been planning this breakout of prison for over 2 years. On Tuesday, May 3rd, surveillance caught the Whites at a car wash in Evansville, Indiana. They were in a 2006 F-150 and left that car at the car wash. The manager had the police come out and look at it last Wednesday, but because it wasn't reported as stolen, they couldn't really do anything about it. But then, authorities received a tip on Sunday night in Evansville, Indiana, from the car wash manager in regards to the F-150. That truck actually had been reported as stolen. Monday, it was announced that there were new charges that were filed against Vicky White, the corrections officer, and the charges were announced as identity theft and forgery. When purchasing the Ford Edge, Vicky used somebody else's identity, not her own. A big, big no-no. Monday morning, the U.S. Marshals got right to work and found the two of these idiots at an Evansville hotel, Motel 41. The two of them had stayed in the same city for 6 days and had not been caught yet. Now, this blows my mind. If you were on the run, going from state to state, why would you just park it in this state in Indiana for 6 days? Why wouldn't you continue your trek north? Were you guys just having like an all-out F-fest in this motel for 6 days? I get that he was locked away for years, but like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Something just is weird here. Like, it doesn't seem like this was well thought out, even though we've been told they had been planning it for years. Were local police just lacking and not on the ball with this one? Was Vicky just now too comfortable and kind of cocky, thinking that she was way far away and way ahead of everybody who was looking for her? After Vicky and Casey were spotted at the hotel, they went on a full-blown pursuit in another car, this time a Cadillac. The pursuit ended in a crash where the U.S. Marshals collided with these two idiots in effort to end the pursuit. And I know I keep calling them idiots, but guys, they really are just idiots. Once the vehicle was crashed, Casey White apparently surrendered, and officers quickly realized that Vicky was not okay, and she was transferred to a hospital.
William 23, just to confirm, is County a vehicle pursuit?
They're not currently in pursuit. I believe they're just following it. Charcoal gray Cadillac.
Anchor Industries
And going through Anchor Industries, 3 Adam 6.
Just go ahead and notify ISP. If they have a question, they can call my my cell phone.
I'm clear.
Radio, clear the channel, in Anchor Industries parking lot.
Clear on in Anchor Industries parking lot.
Out. Crashed out.
Crashed out in an open field along Baumgart.
0, he's crashed out. We're still trying to get that vehicle.
Just want to make clear he's still inside the vehicle. Clear on he's crashed out, still inside the vehicle. No, still going to be in the vehicle. We believe we possibly have him on 911.
One, we need AMR for probably multiple AMRs, 32.
Clear on AMR, he shot himself. And we could hear her on the line saying she had her finger on the trigger. They're going to field off Baumgart and Birch. Shot victim. Female is still armed. Apparently has shot himself. Female still armed. 41, then east on a Birch.
One law enforcement vehicle. Got 2 patients at this time.
Dispatch, can you advise if they need a negotiator?
Any county unit, do you need a negotiator?
Negative, we do not need a negotiator.
Got 2 patients. One is still trapped in the vehicle at this time. We have another who's stable, alert and oriented, who has a bullet wound grazed to the head, but it's in stable condition.
On females out of the vehicle. You say weapon in her hands?
Longer in her hands.
We advise the AMR if the second patient's out of the vehicle. Unresponsive at this time.
Dispatch, I need one county or somebody to make contact with Anchor Industries to have one representative come to the scene.
Apparently, Vicky had a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now, there has been some rumblings and rumors that they potentially had an unaliving pact. And that's unaliving is code word for the S word, but we can't say it here on YouTube. So there's been rumors and speculation that they had an unaliving pact and that Vicky held up her end of it, but Casey didn't, and Casey surrendered. Authorities held a press conference announcing the capture, and shortly after that, the car wash manager was interviewed describing the events leading up to this pursuit.
We started out the morning in Tennessee. We were trying to find the people who discovered Vicky and Casey White's getaway car there, the SUV that they started this whole saga with almost 2 weeks ago. When we got the tip that there was something brewing in Evansville, Indiana, which is about 2.5 hours from where we were in Tennessee, it was believed that Casey and Vicky were spotted here, and then we found out they indeed were. At this car wash behind me, they were spotted on surveillance camera by the manager here, who's really the reason this entire thing ended today. It ended with a police chase and Vicky and Casey White now apprehended. I want to bring in the manager of this car wash, James Stinson. Thanks for being with us, James. You really are the reason all this came to an end, and this has just been a wild week and a half. Tell me what you first spotted here at the car wash.
Yeah, I first noticed on last Tuesday, a truck sticking out of the car wash bay. It's always unusual when one's sticking out. So I come over and looked at it, and I left. So, and this is about 4 in the afternoon on Tuesday, 4:30. So I left. Every time I'd leave and come back, the truck's still there. I leave, come back, the truck's still there. Leave and come, even up late at night, the truck's still there. I go in, go to bed. I get up at 6 o'clock the next morning to take my granddaughter to school. The truck's still there. So I think I need to investigate. Once I get her to school, she gets out of my truck around 7:30. I'm gonna come back and check it out. I come back, I walk up to the truck, I notice the windows are down, and my first thought is could be this guy from Alabama. He might be in there asleep, passed out, suicide, whatever. I'm kind of nervous about it, so I looked over in the truck. Nobody's in it. I opened the door. The keys are in the ignition, which I thought was unusual. I tried to start the truck. The truck started right up, so I know there wasn't nothing wrong with the vehicle. So I left. I come back out. I got on my phone. I Googled the local police department's phone number because I didn't want to call 911. So I called them. I said, you need to send an officer out. I got a suspicious vehicle in my car. We'll have one right out. I go back to the bike. I'm dumping my trash. He never shows up. I got to go back and pick my granddaughter up at 10:30. I get her home. I come back, and my buddy's here and said they ain't never showed up. I called him back. I said, police officers never showed up. They said, yeah, they either had, he pulled up and he run the plates, it ain't stolen.
So it wasn't stolen.
That's what he
That's
reported.
interesting, because that's new. We didn't know that. So maybe they bought it. Perhaps they bought it.
No. It could be that. But I had him get out, and he looked inside the car, and he said, oh my God, there's a gun lock. There might be a gun in there. No, there ain't no gun. He done the same thing. He stuck his key in it, and it started. So he said, I can't help you. It's not reported stolen. So I said, I know what to do. I'll call Tri-State and I'll have it towed. I can't have it here. So I called Tri-State. They come after it. Yesterday at 8 o'clock in the evening, the U.S. Marshal called me from Alabama. And they asked me, said, did you have a car towed from your car wash? I said, yes, I did. And I said, it's got to do with that guy from Alabama. And he said, yeah, we're pretty sure it is. And I said, where'd you have it towed to? He said, Tri-State. And he said it was reported stolen.
And you spoke.
And what I said, and I told him, I said, that police officer told me it wasn't reported stolen. I said, what I'm thinking, they stumbled up on the car with the keys in it, so they just jumped out and took it. They probably don't even know it's gone yet. And that U.S. Marshal said, you're exactly right. That's exactly what happened.
And you went back and looked at the surveillance video. You saw Casey and Vicky. You showed me the video earlier of Casey White by the truck in the vehicle bay. But you apparently, do you also have video of Vicky?
I've got video of a woman in a car, a short woman. You can't make out who it is, but she stopped right out here and picked him up. He walked out of that bay right up to her car.
How does it feel to know that you're the one who brought an end to all of this?
I don't know if I'm the one that brought an end to that. I'm glad it's over and nobody got hurt. That's what I'm thinking.
The Vanderburgh County Sheriff, where they were found, also did an interview.
We want to bring in now the sheriff with Vandenberg County, Dave Wedding. Thanks so much for being here today. I don't assume you thought that your day was going to end up like this morning.
No, I really didn't. We have been investigating leads throughout the day, knowing that the vehicle had been originally spotted on May the 3rd. It was kind of shocking to me that the people would stay in our community for 6 consecutive days.
Right. So what do we know about what they were doing? They were staying in a hotel, right? I mean, that was kind of surprising to me. I figured they would be hiding in a car, hiding in the woods somewhere.
That's correct. I thought it was a little unusual that they were at a hotel that was on a major thoroughfare in our community. And as our U.S. Marshals Task Force and the task force from Alabama and Mississippi were investigating, and as a police officer saw the second vehicle that had been identified as a possible suspect vehicle in the hotel parking lot, when our task force officers went to check in on this, the suspect saw them and fled briefly up Highway 41, and they were rammed by our task force officers. As you can see in the footage there, they're in a ditch. When we approached the vehicle, the woman had a self-inflicted gunshot wound, or at least it appears that it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound at this time. The other person had minor injuries, and they were both transported to local hospital.
What do we know about Vicky White's condition tonight? I mean, she is a highly skilled and trained law enforcement officer. She knows about weapons. I mean, if it was her intention to take her own life, how serious are her injuries tonight?
I would say she's in grave condition at this time.
You think she is going to make it?
Well, I'm not a physician, but I think she's in a very serious condition right now.
Okay, and what about Casey White? How badly was he injured in the crash, and is he cooperating?
His injuries were not that bad.
And is he cooperating?
At this time, yes, he is.
Okay, and can you tell us anything about what you've learned in talking to him?
Well, we will take him to our operations center. We haven't had a lengthy conversation. He was taken to a local hospital. He will be interviewed by our detectives. There's people from the FBI involved in the Marshals Task Force as well. So we will learn more overnight.
Do you have any idea why they chose your community to stay for 6 days? Their ties there?
I have no idea. It's almost amazing that somebody that's on the run, somebody with that much notoriety, would stay in one place for 6 consecutive days. But they are criminals, and criminals usually make poor decisions and meet their own demise.
So whose jurisdiction is this now? Is it now your jurisdiction? Is it the U.S. Marshals? Is it the Sheriff's Office out of Alabama?
Well, in our community, they didn't really commit that many offenses. So we will gladly let them be extradited back to Alabama, where the more serious charges will be taking place. We will consult with our prosecutor to determine what, if any, charges that we will tack on. But I think he's facing plenty from the state of Alabama.
And what can you tell us about the vehicle they were traveling in? Was it stolen? Was it reported stolen? Do we know anything about that?
It wasn't reported stolen, and they may have purchased it, but it was not reported stolen, to my knowledge.
Anything else that surprised you about this case? I mean, obviously, the law enforcement depended heavily on the community, on tips. Their photos were out there. Their surveillance video was out there everywhere. And then ultimately it ended up being a car wash that, ended this 11-day manhunt.
Well, this is a prime example of generally the community helped law enforcement solve many more crimes that we could solve on our own. Without the initial help from the car wash owner, we would have nothing to go on. So we commend him for his quick action. And then as a police officer, spotted the second vehicle in the hotel parking lot. So that officer acted quickly and notified us so that we could seek these people out.
Have you, in all your experience, ever seen anything like this before, where you're chasing down a fellow officer or now former fellow officer?
I don't remember chasing fellows, but from time to time, some police officers go bad and they commit crimes like anyone else in the general public. Thank goodness it's rare, but it does happen, and it is a sad day for all of us.
And now that you know that they've been there for a number of days, do you have any other indications about what they were doing? Were they just holed up in the hotel, or do you have any other leads or information about what they may have been doing in your community all this time?
Yeah, it's interesting because with the high-profile nature of this case, and with the person being approximately 6'9", he's certainly going to draw a lot of attention wherever he goes. So we didn't get many reports of them out and about. So I'm not sure when they went out, how they got their food, or what they did, or even how long they were at the hotel. But as we interview him, we hope to find some of those answers.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time tonight, Sheriff Wedding. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on. Okay.
Vicky died at approximately 7:06 p.m. as a result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And when we consider all of the facts, would this unaliving be simply because she didn't want to go to jail and face the consequences of her actions? Or could there be more to it? She was obviously way too in over her head just to pull this off by herself, or just too wrapped up in this fantasy love story to even be discreet or try to be discreet. Allegedly, Casey White tried to shoot himself as well, but it just grazed him. However, that has not been confirmed yet by law enforcement, but I'm sure that we are going to hear more about that in the next press conference. He will be extradited back to Alabama, and Vicky's autopsy is expected to be performed on Tuesday. Now, I have a few questions with this. Part of me is wondering if there was in fact a pact in place, but if not, could Vicky have left behind any sort of note or indication as to what transpired and what events have been happening over the last few years? Because we know that she didn't confide in her family, as far as we've been told, but at this point, now with her not alive anymore, it's really Casey's word against hers. So is Casey going to try and spin this entire thing saying that he didn't plan to escape, she took him, she was crazy, she fell in love with me, she kidnapped me, blah, 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 whatever he may try to do, because now she's not that anybody will believe him, but now she's not in a position where she can explain her actions, give any sort of cause to her actions. So I'm curious to know what's going to transpire. And if he did in fact have a grazed wound on his head from an attempted bullet, was he trying to uphold his end of the pact and just didn't execute it well enough? So much more to learn in this case, and so many more details that I'm sure are going to be emerging overnight. So I'm going to keep you guys updated. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this case in the comments below. Do why do you think that they were held up for 6 days? Why do you think they didn't continue their, journey on the run together like Bonnie and Clyde and, in this high-speed pursuit? Why would they just hold up in a motel for 6 days? And more than that, what do you think the entire big picture situation was? Was it a love story? Was she fooled? Was she fooled so badly that she then realized this and realized the repercussions that were coming down the pike, and that's why she decided to unalive herself? I just have so many questions about this case, and I'm so curious to know what your thoughts are. So make sure you leave them in the comment section below. I will keep you updated as soon as we have more information, as soon as more details emerge and I can get my grubby hands on some of these documents, I will share them all with you. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already so that you can stay updated of when I post those new update videos. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in with me today. Please don't forget, like this video on your way out and give it a thumbs up to support the channel, and we will talk again very, very soon. All right, guys, have a good night, and until the next case, stay safe. Bye.